understand why the mailbox, see it all the way down there? The mailbox has to be so far away from the house.
I found love, for real love.
So I know I look a mess right now. I am picking my niece up from school, and yeah, I feel like a mom when I do this. I mean, I look like a mom too, but I understand how moms feel when they come in with their scarves on. Fortunately, I do not have to go in the building because they bring them out to the car, which is the only reason I have my scarf on. But I understand because I drop her off and pick her up in the morning, and it is early. And if you don't have anything else to do after you drop your kid off, or if you have to like go home and get ready for work, it doesn't make sense to get fully clothed and fully dressed and put on hair and makeup just to go right back home, because I don't walk in the school building at all. They get her out of the car and they bring her back in the car at the end of the day. And so, yeah, I look a mess. But the whole point of this, that wasn't even it, was, so I know I get a lot of questions on my skincare routine and or just what I use on my face, because y'all, my skin is so important to me. I have really sensitive skin, and so I try to take really good care of it. And before I learn how to beat my face, I always make sure that getting the best skincare routine down is a priority. And so I wanted to share a quick tip with y'all. So it's that time of the month, and so I get a little pimple, and that mark right there, that was from a pimple that I didn't pop from the previous cycle, but I didn't pop it and it still left a mark. So something I've learned is if you take a Q-tip and you put a dab of honey on it and you dab that honey on your spots, y'all, this pimple was so much bigger a couple of days ago. And I just take honey, I dab them on those spots, leave them overnight, or you can do it during the day because you're going to like massage it in, so it's not going to be really noticeable on your face and it's not going to be really sticky. But that mark is starting to fade, and that pimple has gone down significantly. So I just wanted to share that tip with y'all. It's not part of my everyday skincare routine, and maybe I'll show you all how to, how I do my skincare routine. But that's just a cheap, quick, easy way to kind of reduce pimples to where you're not spending a fortune on products that probably won't even work for you. This is natural. It's just honey. I think I end up getting this honey at Aldi or something. It's not even an inexpensive brand of honey. It's just plain natural honey. So, yeah, if you have pimples out of nowhere, if you get your cycle and you just have those monthly pimples, try that and see if it works, and let me know how and if it works in the comments below. I don't understand why the mailbox, see it all the way down there? The mailbox has to be so far away from the house. And I have to walk and it's hot. Excuse my feet because I need a pedicure. I'm going to go get one this week. They're not bad. They're just not painted. Now I'm walking all the way back down the street in the heat. Birthday. It's her 19th birthday, and I honestly don't know what she's looking for, but I think I'm going to go get something to eat, and also there's a few items that I'm looking for specifically. I want to find a white wrap shirt with these sleeves. I don't know where I'm gonna get that from, but yeah. So hopefully I can find something.
If I can't have you, I don't want you to have anyone.
So I know I'm kind of late in getting this video out because I thought I wanted to talk about one thing and then something happened, and so I thought this was a more pressing issue, and so I'm going to talk about that thing instead. And as y'all can see, y'all are getting the real me. I am about to go to bed soon, but I wanted to talk about this because I felt like it really is a pressing issue. So I think I should start with the backstory. When I was in 7th grade, I remember being in choir and we were practicing a song, and we were all standing up around the piano to practice this song. And I remember I didn't feel well. Actually, I just didn't feel well. I didn't feel a way where I thought that I should go home. Like, I didn't feel sick to my stomach, or maybe I should stop pulling on this because, yeah, I'm gonna break this up tomorrow. But I didn't feel a way where I thought I should go home. I just didn't feel like myself, you know. And if you know about the Black community, you know how any type of anything that, so typically your parents say, if you are not throwing up, if you do not have a fever, if you are not on fire, and if you're not dying, then you do not need to go home, or you don't need to stay home because you're fine. You can stay at school, you're okay. So I didn't feel any of that. I didn't feel like I had to go to the doctor or anything. I didn't feel like I had to go home or go to the nurse's office, but I just didn't feel like myself. So I remember standing up and we were singing, we were practicing a song, and I didn't feel good, but I was like, I don't want to go lay down. I don't feel terrible, you know. And then the next thing I knew, the room didn't start spinning. Like, I wasn't dizzy, I just felt tired. I felt that my body was tired and it was saying, go to sleep now. That's how I felt. So I remember having a moment where I was like, okay, I need to go to sleep, but I can't make it back to my desk to lay down. And I didn't want to ask the teacher because, again, I didn't think it was that pressing. Well, a few minutes later, I remember, actually I don't quite remember anything. I just remember hearing voices. I remember tears coming out of my eyes, and then I remember hearing voices around me. I felt like I was dreaming because I knew I felt tired, right? Anyways, I wake up and I'm in a wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair, and I remember the police officers who were wheeling me to the nurse's office was like, are you pregnant? And I'm like, I'm in the 7th grade, I'm not having sex, and I thought I was in bed sleeping. I don't know what happened. So long story short, my mom took me to the doctor to run all these tests because they thought I had an enlarged heart. And after having all these tests run, the doctor comes back and is like, well, there's nothing really wrong with your heart. You had a panic attack. You had an anxiety attack and you fainted. And I remember everybody asking me, what are you anxious about? Like, and I'm in 7th grade. I'm like, I'm not anxious about anything. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel like anything is causing me to have anxiety. I don't feel like anything is pressuring me. Now this little part of my hair is bothering me. So anyway, that was the first time that I had experienced a severe panic attack. It was in 7th grade, or an anxiety attack. So recently, within the past month or so, I've been having these episodes, mostly when I lay down, where it's like I feel like my chest sinks in and I lose breath. I can't breathe for a while. And it's been like that for a couple of months, but I've mostly had it under control to where I didn't feel like I needed to go to a doctor, or just me practicing mindfulness and different meditations and kind of keeping it under control. Well, yesterday I felt like I didn't feel well. I didn't know what necessarily was wrong, but I just knew I didn't feel well. And so this is Sunday. Today's Monday. This is Sunday. I went, got in my bed, laid down, watched a little TV, and I felt that sinking feeling in my chest again, where my breath just felt like my breath was like something was sucking my breath out of me, and it wasn't going away. Typically when that happens, it goes away within a minute or so, and I won't experience it for a few hours or maybe a few days, just depends. But yesterday it just wasn't going away. I can see the glare in my eyes. And after about an hour, I got up and I went to have dinner with my family at the table, and I was eating, and all of a sudden I just didn't feel good. I don't know how to explain it, but I just didn't feel like myself. And I pushed my plate away, and out of nowhere I felt like I wasn't getting any air. I started crying, but I just mostly felt like I was struggling to breathe, like I couldn't grasp air quick enough. And so I started hyperventilating, and my sister, my mom, and my niece, they're asking, what's wrong? And I don't have oxygen, so I can't tell them what was wrong. And I also felt a lump in my chest. And so after about a minute or so, I started to calm down, started to catch my breath. My sister, who thankfully is a nurse, came over and took my pulse and everything, and she said my heart wasn't beating rapidly, but she said more than likely it was an anxiety attack. And so yeah. My mom asked if I wanted to go to the ER, and I said no. But last night, later in the night, I was in bed and I had another episode, but this time I felt paralyzed, so I felt like I couldn't move, and it scared me, okay? Because I felt like it scared me because I felt like if something was to happen, I wasn't able to defend myself, or I couldn't get up, I couldn't move. And it wasn't sleep paralysis. I was up, I woke up, but this happened about 3 o'clock in the morning. But I was up, but my breath was gone, and I just felt like my body was paralyzed. So now at this time, I'm thinking I probably should go get it checked out, because now I'm having severe panic attacks, and they're more frequent and they're more consistent. But mainly, I read this post the other day, a tweet, and it said that a lot of people who claim, well, because this is new, mental illness and anxiety and depression, and they're not new as in diagnosing these issues. They're new as in now we're finally, as a society, especially as a Black community, are willing to discuss this more, and more people are coming forward with having these, and it's being, we're paying a lot more attention to it. But because of that, this post said a lot of people are claiming depression and anxiety when really they're just having a bad day or having a bad moment. And what that does is it kind of belittles the people who actually go through real depression and real anxiety. It kind of takes away from our experience, because now it's harder to talk about those things, because it seems like we're hypochondriacs. Everybody has it now. Everybody's depressed or everybody has anxiety. And while I know a lot of people who are, that I just want us to all be aware that it is serious. It's not anything that we can say like, oh, I'm just having a bad day, so I must be depressed. If you are depressed and you are having anxiety, I encourage you to really get it checked out. I myself finally am going to go get mine checked out, but I also don't want us to throw around those words so lightly, because there are people really dealing with these things, and we want to keep the attention on the seriousness of it all. And so I just kind of wanted to get that out there and say that I said I was going to be more transparent, and that is a transparent thing for me. So I hope that if you are experiencing the same things, I want to take you on my journey in getting through this. But if you're experiencing this, maybe you can comment below if you feel safe, if you feel like there's something you want to talk about or share your story, because I know it looks different for everybody. And maybe my story will help somebody else, and maybe your story might help somebody. It might help me too. Maybe this is a community where we can help each other. And so I wanted to end it on that night. I'm about to go, or end it on that note. I am about to go to bed and wrap up this vlog. It was really short just because